Good morning. Wow, Rockstar is not good. Good morning, and welcome to Two Scoops Morning News with Dan and Craig. I'm Dan.
And I'm Craig.
And this music is too loud.
You're watching Two Scoops Morning News with Dan and Craig, your sunrise reminder that things could get worse, so laugh at them while you still can.
Craig, it's morning, and you are a former what is playing here? Holy crap. It's in my headphone. Make it stop. Oh, it's just the link elsewhere. Craig, you were in the military at one point. You probably killed a bunch of brown people and things, and you know how ethnically diverse the military can be and in their murdering of brown folks. Before we get into this first article, do you have any thoughts on your experience? And it's been a while, so I imagine there weren't any women or minorities in the military way back when you were in.
No, it was strictly males and of the heterosexual sort, and they were all white. We didn't allow the BIPOCs, I guess they're calling them these days, in the military.
If you didn't ask if they were black and they didn't tell that they were black, was it fine?
No, it still wasn't fine.
Wow, the don't ask, don't tell policy didn't even apply.
It didn't apply to black people at all.
Huh.
No.
All right.
No, I was actually in when Don't Ask, Don't Tell got repealed. So, I mean, you had people that were like, "Well, this means it's a breach of my contract, so I can get out of the military, can't I?" And they're like, "No, no, don't be fucking dumb."
So there were straight guys who were like, "Well, if you're gonna have any of these gays around me, then that's a breach of my contract, so I can get out of here." Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yep.
Nice.
So, and then they looked at them and like, "No, fucking go back to work."
All right, so today we're going to be talking about a couple things. First off being this is, I know this is about a year old, but for some reason this is making the rounds on all the shows lately, so this is the first I've seen of it. Greg, have you seen the Calling, the Go Army ads?
I don't think I have.
All right.
But Shannon's here.
Shannon is here. Ceedie is here also, and she sent me the article that you're going to be talking about yesterday, so... Shout-outs for her being ahead of us, because Craig didn't know that he was talking about it yesterday. All right, so this is how we're recruiting people to the badass army right now. Just first, The Calling. Anybody who thinks that, I don't know, like there's maybe it's the libertarian in me, but anybody who is convinced that it's their calling to go into the military and shoot people might need to get a psych eval. But also, no white guys. We went from all white guys when you were in the military to none anymore. I'm glad we've got this accurate representation here.
Yes. My question is, what is this video? Like,
hold on.
It's just
hold
okay.
on. For the audio listener, it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon.
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems.
Sounds of children screaming muted for effect.
It begins in California with a little girl raised by two moms.
Because why not?
Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age. When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctors said she might never walk again. But she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet.
Come on, she's a softball player, that butch gal there. She can walk it off.
Do you know how many people in the military that I knew their parents' backstory to, or gave two shits about their parents' backstory
Kind of like
to.
teachers. Do you know how many teachers I knew? What
They're,
they identified as, or who they were dating, or who they were sleeping with.
yeah, like, yes, I know a lot of their backstory, like my friends in the military, like how they were, like their family and stuff. But did I know that if their parents were gay, straight? No, I don't fucking care, and I don't like how
No, I
much
didn't
money.
ask and they didn't tell.
Yes, basically. Um, what does this? Why? What? Why? What is happening right now?
And
And
also keep in mind, like, who are we trying to recruit for the military exactly? Not that there's anything wrong with being gay in the military or having gay moms and being in the military or being a woman in the military, but when your target demographic is people who will be spoken to by Pixar cartoons about gay moms, like,
that's
what does that have
yeah,
to do with the military?
yes, and I love how they're. It's like, hey, we got to diversify the people that are blowing up the brown people. So,
Make war gay.
yes, make war gay and make war browner. I don't know.
Yeah, I should have had that ad pulled up of Jeremy's, but I won't.
Eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom. With such powerful role models,
So far, there's been more conversation about her moms than there has been about the military, and we are more
Yeah,
than halfway done with this ad for the
if
military.
if I hadn't seen that first clip, I would have no clue this was about the military. Even when they put in the missile defense system part in there, I still would have no freaking idea that this was a military propaganda piece.
Even from a story writing perspective, I don't know anything about this person. All I know is that she has gay moms.
I finished high school at the top of my class.
Oh, there we
Then
go.
attended UC Davis,
She's
where I
smart.
joined a sorority full of other strong women.
She's gay.
But as graduation approached, I began feeling like I'd been handed so much in life. A sorority girl stereotype. Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women. But what had I really achieved on my own?
We're gonna get to the military at some
One
point
of my
here, I
sorority
swear.
sisters was studying abroad in Italy. Another was climbing Mount Everest. I needed my own adventures.
So I was looking at all my bitch-ass friends on Instagram, and they're doing all these cool things, and I was like, hey,
I'm gonna blow up brown people.
that's right.
My own challenge.
My own challenge.
And after meeting with an Army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength.
I like how this whole thing is a cartoon for some reason. I don't know why, other than their demographic is 12-year-olds. But I like how they show her doing these badass things, but it's still a cartoon. And
No, their demographic is not 12-year-olds. It is the fact that people are more and more immature these days.
I meant mental 12-year-olds.
Okay, there you go. That's it.
Yep.
Maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way. I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord.
Why did her voice get worse at the end? Like, it's more shrill when it's in real life. Like,
She's a worse actor in real life than she was in the cartoon.
Yeah, nothing has been said about what the military is. Just my gay moms were there and fierce females, and I'm gonna shatter stereotypes by joining the army. The end.
Okay,
And I answered my calling.
Pause. You didn't shatter anything by, I don't know, graduating the top of your class and
Right.
like overcoming the fact that one of your moms was
That doesn't matter.
paralyzed or whatever. Like, you've overcome plenty of things, and then the Army's like, no, that's not good enough. You need to do so. Basically, the Army said all of the shit that you put up with in life doesn't fucking matter because you need to go on and shatter stereotypes and prove something to yourself by joining the Army.
And-
So all that shit that you just described, the Army's video here, I feel like it did the opposite and said, no, none of that really
Yeah.
freaking. That's
So I was
not
gonna
good
say,
enough.
like, one of the biggest recruiting tools for the military is you're gonna get free college. And this lady went to college, and then she realized, wow, that was worthless. I guess I better go join the military because all my friends are hiking up Mount Everest or something.
Yeah. So I want to go shoot missile systems.
Yep.
That's what I got out of it. So
Now, I one more thing to play here before we move on, but perhaps you've seen this. This is a Russia military recruitment video. by contrast. How many gay dads do you think they talk about in this?
0 gay dads.
It's close.
I don't think they have gay dads in Russia.
It's close. I think there might be one. Have you seen Vladimir Putin on that horse? Pretty gay.
But is he a
Это
dad, though?
первый
I
день
don't know.
твоей новой жизни.
You know he's got a million kids.
То, что было вчера, не имеет значения. То, кем ты был прежде, уже никого не волнует. Теперь важно то, кем ты будешь сегодня. Что ты знаешь о себе? На что ты способен? Вопросы могут остаться без ответов, но разве ты сможешь потом спокойно спать? Узнать себя, познать границы своих возможностей. К черту границы. Ты готов ломать себя до изнеможения каждый день.
Maybe it's just the Putin apologist in me, but something about this makes me want to join their military without hearing a word he has to say.
Yeah, I can't understand this, but I know exactly
But I'm
what he's
terrified.
saying.
I'm shitting my pants over this. And
I'm scared. They're scaring me into joining the military. No, I can't understand a word, but all I know is they are saying, "Do you want to be a badass?
Right.
Do you want to get girls? Join the military." And everybody's like, "Fuck yeah, I want to be a badass and I want to get girls."
do you
That-
have
I mean,
gay
that was-
moms? Did you graduate college and get nothing out of it? Come join the
That-
military.
You want to shatter the stereotypes? Join. I want
Join so that you can shatter the glass ceiling.
Is it okay? I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble on here for saying.
Oh,
what-
yeah. Now is
the-
when you're going to start getting in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the stereotype. This isn't coming from me. This is coming from everybody. When back in my day in the military, this was the known stereotype of a female in the military, and I know that's changed. And I know we were horrible people back then. But in the military, if you were a female in the military, it's because you were a lesbian or because you were a total bitch, and you were one or the other, or a mixture of both. So when you're joining the military,
And if you
might-
were one, let's be honest, you were probably the other as well, whether you were willing to admit it or not.
well, and there was a third one too, but I won't get into that.
Oh,
Okay. There was there was the lesbian, and then there was the bitch type, and then there was the slut type. But
Ah, nice.
so break all the stereotypes, join the military, and get so many more stereotypes thrown on you, because it's full of stereotypes. It's absolutely full of stereotypes.
There's no stereotypes around men in the military, is there?
No, not at all. There's not like the you eat crayons stereotype, the meathead stereotypes, or anything stupid like that. But
I'm surprised she didn't join the Navy. They're already known for not being exclusive on their sexuality.
that's only for the males in the Navy.
Right.
But this reminds me of like a 90s, early 2000s, like post 9/11, even pre 9/11 military ad. It's like, you want to be a badass? Join the military. And I mean, what guy watch this is like, no, I don't want to be a badass.
Right.
But they look at this and they're like, wow, I could be a badass. I want to do that. But
Really, all
instead-
it is just marketing your product. Like, it's telling them like the benefits of doing it. And sure, it is overplayed and over dramatic, I'm sure. But you know, I don't know. I'm not rooting for the military by any stretch of the imagination, but just from a marketing standpoint, telling them that they're going to be cool seems better than telling them that they're victims, so they should join.
Yes, I am going to root for Russia's military, though.
Здесь боль закаляет, шрамы, повседневность. Это ты решил себе что-то доказать. Командир здесь только для того, чтобы ты мог увидеть в нем врага, потому что без врага нет боя, а без боя нет победы. Но на самом деле, главный враг — это ты. Вчерашний.
For the audio listeners, it looks exactly like you imagine a military ad to look.
Or
Lots of military things and military
Just-
people and angry faces.
just listen to that, like, badass, like, Russian. I'm
Score.
not saying Russian. The Russian accent is definitely not the type that you'd put in, like, a beautiful love song, but it is the type that you would put in a badass military ad.
Right.
Ты. Твоя задача — выследить врага, догнать его, превзойти, стать лучше, чем он, и вернуться назад победителем. Потому что завтра
and that was when I realized I got the letter in the mail and realized that my father was banging men, and I felt so sad. And then I realized I was a bigot, so I joined the military. Like, come on. Anyway,
Yeah. I don't know. CD says that the American ad is for college grads that graduated with worthless degrees and want to get paid for it.
yeah, that's what they said, basically.
The thing, the type of people that went and got a college degrees, they're going to go be officers because you have to go into the officer program. You have to have some form of college degree. It doesn't matter what college degree. You could be going to be a missile officer with a, I don't know, a worthless arts degree. You just have to have some kind of degree, and you can go lead people. And so those are the types of people they're trying to attract, are the people that are going to lead the military, not the types of people that are like, oh, I don't have anything better to do in life. No, it's like, you're a victim. Come lead our military. That's what they're going for here.
It's a great way to start. And if you have somebody with victim mentality, I bet they're not like, I don't know, the most stable in their decision-making processes and these things. I don't know.
Let me clear up before I move on. Not every woman in the military is a bitch, a lesbian, or a slut.
Not anymore. Now
I'm just saying,
their moms might be lesbians.
Shed all the stereotypes and join the military, where you can get thrown more stereotypes on you. That was my point. There is no, the military is not free of stereotypes. I think there are stereotypes in the military.
Yeah. Well, that's a. I mean, we did put out the Jeremy Kaufman "War is Gay" ad that was pushing for this particular thing. Apparently, we put it out a year late, but I like to think that that's what sparked some revival in this beautiful Pixar military movement.
They're like, well, how do we want to respond to this "War is Gay" thing? Well, let's just rerun our.
Let's just get gayer.
War.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, and there's more. There's like a whole series of these little kids cartoons for the military of that was probably the worst, the one that focused on the military the least.
So, and I've heard this in their old military ads. When it comes to marketing in the real world, and we got to move on, but when it comes to marketing in the real world, they have this thing like called turnaround. No, go back. We're not here. Go back. It's like the turnaround of the dollars you spent on advertising versus the dollar paid. Like, so if you spent $1 million on this ad, you want to generate at least more than $1 million. And the amount of money that gets spent on military marketing is way more than the amount of turnaround they get on those dollars. They spend millions and millions of dollars on advertising for the military. And I mean, they don't get turnaround on that. So just imagine they're like, the badass ones that actually attracted people into the military that we spent so many millions of dollars.
Let's brought in too many toxic men into the movement.
Yes. Let's scratch that and do these worthless cartoons, but not just one. Let's do a full series of them, and then let's see what I mean, that's the public sector. They don't care about like the turnaround of dollars. They just care
return
about
on investment.
Yeah, there you go. Return. There is no return on investment.
So what is their goal here? Well, like, what is the benefit to putting this out and spending millions of dollars on this? Because, I mean, I feel like it would be insulting to gay people to be like if this speaks to you, and you're not thinking about the big picture of what the job is, and how it has nothing to do with this, like that should tell you that they think you're retarded.
Well, I mean, military recruiters think you're retarded anyway.
Yeah.
A lot
and
of
you
them
are.
retarded. I knew a guy that joined the military because his recruiter told him he'd be able to race cars in Japan. Guess what he never got to do guess where he never went while he was in the military? Japan.
Wow.
And he never raced a single car unless it was like a drag race with his like barracks buddies somewhere.
Nice. Was it an all ages drag race? If you know what I mean.
It probably was. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was one of those.
You want to talk about your story now, Greg?
Yeah. Speaking of gay, speaking of gay, drugs have gotten gayer.
Nice.
Apparently, there's this new thing called rainbow fentanyl out there because fentanyl wasn't good enough and it didn't look close enough to the real drugs. So we're
It's just
like,
like
let's,
flavored vapes.
yeah. I mean, we are marketing this towards children. Literal joke, according to Chuck Schumer. I mean, it's almost October. It's September 27th. Halloween is right around the corner. So we might as well dig back up the Halloween drugging your kids on trick or treat night scare
I have a
because
question.
yeah.
I don't know much about fentanyl. All I know is that DeSantis is really scared of it, and George Floyd definitely didn't die of it, and stuff like that. All I know is the really, really scary things. I was under the impression that fentanyl was something that you typically laced into other things to cut your drug and make it more potent or whatever, and run the risk of death. Is fentanyl something that people are just taking as a little Skittles pill like these are?
Apparently, yes. Apparently now
Huh.
we are. And from what I've heard, the Chinese are sending over a ton of fentanyl and they don't care about losing money. They just care about getting Americans addicted. They don't care about making money off it is what the latest I've heard,
Yeah.
which I don't know if I believe that either. I guess the US military doesn't care about losing money, but I feel like the Chinese drug lords do care about losing money.
Yeah.
But according to Chuck Schumer,
And what benefit does it bring to the drug dealers to get their clients hooked on a drug that kills them?
yes, I mean, you're not
I mean,
going
I
to
guess the same could be said for the military, but
well, the military is retarded, so,
yeah.
drug dealers are less retarded than the US military, uh, for the most part.
Sounded more
Uh,
libertarian every day, Craig.
yeah. So let's get into this because Chuck Schumer now declares that, these little rainbow Skittle things are fentanyl that is being there's the fear of it being put in our child's Halloween candy, so beware, kids, because
It's like
if
razor
you see
blades.
this
Some people just
razor
want to kill
blades
your
and
kids
apples.
for fun on Halloween.
And I've said this so many times, and maybe it's not the case with Chinese fentanyl dealers. No drug dealer is going to give drugs away for free to your child.
Right.
They're not. I mean, if maybe some crackhead accidentally dropped their crack pipe into your kid's trick or treat bag, but nobody intentionally is giving away drugs unless it's, I guess, Chinese warlords.
I mean, this has been the fear since we were children with like razor
Yeah.
blades and syringes and candy for some reason. Like, who is the murderer who's like, I'm going to kill kids and I'm never going to see it happen. I'm not going to witness it. I'm just going to give it
Yeah.
to them
What?
and hope they eat it. And I don't know. I mean,
What?
there is something to say about an entire holiday where you're taking strangers from candy, or you're taking candy from strangers all night long. But
Thing they tell you to not do your entire life except this one day of the year.
right.
Never take candy from strangers,
And then
except on
then the
October
good
3rd.
churches, the good churches who don't want to do trick or treating because that's the devil's thing. They do trunk or treating, so they have you take candy out of the back of their van instead because that is more
so much-
holy.
And instead of dressing up for Halloween and wearing your scary costumes, you dress up for Halloween and go take candy out of the trunk.
Yes. Anyway, we're gonna get to this story.
So Chuck Schumer has warned that rainbow fentanyl may be distributed during Halloween to get children hooked. Does this not sound like the most boomer thing you've ever heard?
I like how they have hooked in quotations as well.
Yes, because they know it's fucking asinine. But get this, there's no other like motivation for him to be saying this stuff at all besides the fear of your children getting hooked on fentanyl.
You're right.
Says-
Getting hooked is the concern, not the death part.
No, that's not even. I mean, it's all fear for safety of your children, not the fact that he also wants $290 million to help fight the hold
Oh, good.
of opioid.
That'll help.
Yeah, it's like
There's a drug dealer out there somewhere that's like, this is a great idea. I'm going to put fentanyl in these kids' candy, and I'm going to get them hooked on fentanyl, and then they're going to come back. They're going to remember that door that they got that candy from. They're going to come back with like $250 or whatever the going rate is for fentanyl, and they're going to be like, hey, man, I need my fix. Like
I
there
need
is
more.
no value to the drug dealer in this exchange in any way whatsoever. He's giving away drugs for free, and he's not
Yeah.
gaining a client. I guarantee it.
No. The kid will probably end up in the hospital and die. So no clients gained at all. Just dead children. Less potential clients for the future. So I mean, bad business model.
Yeah.
It says, speaking on Sunday outside his New York office, Schumer said rainbow fentanyl is one of the biggest health issues facing the country right now. This thing we've never heard of
Right.
until this article came out is the biggest
It's like
health
COVID.
concern facing our country right now.
Yeah.
And of course,
Who amongst us hasn't had a friend or a loved one die of rainbow fentanyl?
it says he at some point held up a picture of a sweet tart and a fentanyl pill and said, "You tell me the difference."
One is fentanyl and one is a sweet tart, and one of them is going into the bucket on Halloween, and the other one is
First of all,
probably not around.
one is round and has no weird distinct markings on them like
Right.
these, and then the other looks like some weird pill thing with markings. And who stamps their fentanyl with the marking?
Right. I'd be putting a big S on them, calling them. Wait.
Yeah, why wouldn't you make it look
Sweet
more
tart?
like a sweet tart? If
Right.
your whole idea was to get kids hooked and make them believe it's candy, make it look more like the actual thing you're trying to make it look like.
They didn't want to get like a copyright infringement lawsuit or something like that.
So what do you think he's spending this $290 million on? Because it does not say. It just says, help fight the hold. The addictive opioid is gaining in America.
Hookers.
The war on drugs is going so fascinating, so well, that we have more drugs, so we should throw
Right.
more money at it. And just for vagueness, like help fight fentanyl, the biggest health crisis in the country right now. This sounds like a revival of the crack epidemic, only this isn't real. The crack epidemic was real, and we threw a bunch of money at it and more crack at it, and it got worse. And this is like they're trying to redo that.
There's a
And
debate
scare-
over whether the crack epidemic was real, but it definitely had more holding in reality than rainbow
Yes.
fentanyl. Yes.
There was actually people hooked on crack. There are, but the whole scare there that they put through the news was the crack babies, and these moms should be arrested for having crack babies. And 10 years later, they find out crack babies were never really a real thing. We're just demonizing the people that we got hooked on crack. But this is like, oh, be scared. Your kids are going to grow up hooked on heroin. I mean, it's not going to last long, folks, because the lifespan of a heroin addict isn't very long anyway.
As
So
bad as adults are at handling their heroin, just imagine a kid. I mean,
right,
come on.
especially or straight fentanyl, because straight fentanyl is what heroin addicts take and die because it kills them more than heroin.
It kills George Floyd-sized people, even, I hear.
No,
I'm not saying it killed George Floyd. I'm saying it kills
Oh.
people of that size. And he's a
Yes,
big guy.
he
was
was
a big guy.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think the Chinese drug lords are putting rainbow fentanyl in our kids' trick-or-treating bags this year?
Yes. And I will be using this excuse to not take my kids out trick-or-treating. And if I do go out trick-or-treating, I'm definitely not taking them to those Chinese houses because, racism is bad, but fentanyl, rainbow fentanyl is worse. It is strange that this new scary thing has, a gay feel to it. It seems awfully bigoted to me.
Yeah, it's true. It's why did they go with rainbow?
Right.
So
the military would accept it?
Obviously. Instead of spending the $290 million to help fight the biggest health issue facing the country right now, why don't they just lock us all down on Halloween? That's what they did during the last biggest health crisis. Just lock us down. Say, you can't fucking trick or treat. Then nobody dies.
You're going to catch the fentanyls.
It's true.
You're going to kill grandma.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all I got.
So what is he going to do with $290 million to help fight this made-up thing?
This is the only line that specifies the $290 million. Is
Right.
he wants $290 million.
Well, in fairness, this article is 3 sentences long.
I think there was more down here.
Oh, is there?
Here. I'm going to make sure that the federal budget we're voting on this week is $290 million to fight the scourge of fentanyl and rainbow fentanyl.
I think it'll help.
In particular, there is money for what is called ORS teams, overdose response strategy teams, that go after the drug dealers and help warn kids about the danger this range of rainbow fentanyl. There are these things called overdose response teams that are called like ER workers and hospital workers and EMS. We already have those. We don't need $290 million to make more
it's going
overdose
to
response teams.
going to the DARE program.
Basically, yeah.
Because that went so well. It kept us all from,
No,
smoking.
it's not DARE anymore. It's ORS.
What's ORS?
Overdose response strategy teams.
Oh.
It's not DARE.
Well, that's more like the militarized version of DARE, where they come in and shoot your kids for having fentanyl.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just 2 milligrams of fentanyl, which is equal to 10 to 15 grams of table salt. Or grains. I was like, how is 2 milligrams the same as 10 to 15 grams? 10 to 15 grains of table salt is considered a lethal dose. So basically, your kid takes one of those pills and dies. So no, we don't have to worry about kids getting hooked. We just have to worry about them dying. So we're good.
It is like, it makes it even more suspect, and like, what is your play here when they're talking about getting hooked? Like, he's using, like you said, boomer vernacular, because that's the scary term. You don't want your kids hooked on drugs. Why didn't you say they're gonna fucking die?
Right. Yeah.
Is it because that's not as much of a long game that you can use later on when they realize that their kids didn't die?
Yeah. If they all die this year, then we don't really have to spend that much money because they're all dead. So, but if we say they're hooked, we have
Isn't that just evolution?
War on drugs. Yeah. Yeah.
Kids,
I mean, if
don't do fentanyl, you'll die.
Yeah. That's that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So thesystemsdown.tv is where you can find me, and at TSIDpod on Twitter, and I'll be doing an episode tomorrow about a lot about Ray Epps, and I think we're having the evil Top Lobster on to co-host, so check that out at 2 p.m. Corn time tomorrow, and back here, but on Craig's channel on Thursday. I had a guy reach out to me on last Thursday, and he was like, "Where's Two Scoops? Couldn't find it." I was like, "It's on.
Listen,
it's over there. Follow the instructions." Craig, where can people find you?
People can find me and the Thursday edition of the show at Break the Bell or the Break the Bell podcast. You can find all the information about it at breakthebellpod.com or all over the social media at Break the Bell Pod. My YouTube channel, which is just a vague name somewhere. Just look up. Just go to the website. Just do something. Find me. That's where you can find the Thursday episode. Follow these very clear instructions that I just gave.
It's your fault if you didn't write that down. Now, Craig, I noticed that you had my boy Dave Casey on the show last night. How'd that go?
I had your boy Dave Casey. Dave Casey is a badass, by the way.
He's a gem. He's a real gem.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to the episode drop tomorrow. We talked about wokeness and the woke eating themselves and like gay shit. So definitely listen to that episode.
Nice. This has been Two Scoops.
This has been Two Scoops Morning News every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 a.m. Central or whenever we feel like it. Until next time, hang in there, America.